Hi, hello, good evening. Thank you for joining me. It is 10:40 p.m. Monday, April 14th. And I've tried to do this video at least 3 times, talking about different actions, different elements. And really, you're doing the best that you can. And that is absolutely okay. We all have room for improvement. And you know you do too. And if today you can improve, fucking yeah. Get it, baby. If today you couldn't improve and you were barely hanging on, yeah, you hung on. And if today you let go and just said fuck it, did fuck all, yeah, we need those days too. That was my yesterday. We make choices. And we can armchair whether or not they were good choices based on, current situations and scenarios that play out. Sometimes they are ill-informed. Sometimes they are ill-timed. Sometimes it is just stuff that falls apart for a reason. I love to see the weave in the reason. Not the cockwamples weave that he talks about. President Cockwample, if you needed clarity. It is the weave of timing that the universe dictates. And going with the flow of it. It's scary. And it's hard. And the magic happens in the scariest parts of that, when it's just all coming apart. You make decisions and then other things happen and you're like, oh my God, seriously? I just did that because in order for the thing that you want to happen, to come in, something's got to leave so that space can be filled. And we often try and control how that happens. And it doesn't always work out. The timing is just ridiculous. The things other people do is just ridiculous. If you have consistent thoughts of being fucked over, baby, you're gonna experience that a bit. And either you're going to continue to feed into it and it's going to increase and be a consistent thing, or you're going to go, oh my gosh, and back off those thoughts and go, okay, that's I didn't like that experience. We don't want to do that no more. So we're not thinking about stuff like that. I can tell you how many times driving as much as I have on the road, I thought about a car accident, and my kids will sometimes watch videos, truckers videos, and I'm like, just stop watching that stuff. It is not helpful. It is not conducive. It puts that picture in your brain, and no. Because once you start feeling that stuff in your body, that's the key to manifesting. That's the key to stuff actually arriving. And baby, you don't want to do that. You don't want the experiences necessarily. So stop playing the movie in your head. Stop the thought of it. Stop those words crossing your mind. Stop whatever that is. Being that people have different thoughts form in different ways. Sometimes it's color, sometimes it's feelings, sometimes it's, a whole movie. I get the whole movie experience. It's great. That has all the feelings and whatnot. And those are super fun. But we desperately want to feel safe with each other. And we are struggling to get there. I desperately wanted to feel safe with my family. Because there was a sense of not being fully safe and not being fully seen too. Growing up, I know I was loved. I felt loved. But I didn't exactly feel seen and supported in some of the key ways that would have really thrust me into thriving. And my sister definitely wasn't either, my older sister. My younger brother, I guess maybe, kind of, sort of. Probably not. As the youngest, parents were involved slightly more in different ways than him because he had different needs than my sister and I did. But we were both relatively self-efficient. But I even got a different mom in the beginning than my sister did. My mom had a stroke when she was pregnant with me, and it changed her personality. So it was a completely different person, and my sister didn't feel safe at all. My mom was very angry and became a very big yeller, which my sister and I inherited. We both are yellers. But there is a very important difference in understanding and healing from that in order to feel safe in yourself, in order for your own family, your spouse, siblings, to feel safe with you, your children to feel safe with you. Sometimes a kid will act out because they're just struggling with stuff and they think you don't understand, or they think you're going to judge them. And so they're doing all sorts of stuff. Or there's a lot of pressure on them and a lot of expectation, and they can't meet everybody's expectations. And they can't seem to find a break, and so they have a breaking point. There are other kids who just, because of the way you are with them, they're acting out in a serious manner. They don't feel safe. They don't feel safe enough to come to you with their worries and concerns because you berate them, you demean them, and call them names. And then you turn around and, like a bipolar person, even though you're not, try and do fun things and good things for them. And then when they don't respond the way that you want them to, you dumb them down and berate them and beat them down verbally and emotionally. I've seen that. It doesn't work. It causes problems. And kids don't feel safe. But you wind up being the person that does that with everybody in some regard. Put up a front just enough to get in the door. And then little tiny things switch around and people are like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this person. If you feel that way about someone, there's two roads. Well, three, I guess. One, you completely cut them off. If it's you, and you can self-recognize that, then you 100% go and figure out how to overcome that, how to not be that way. Figure out why you're that way. Heal some shit. And the other way, aside of addressing it and talking to the person about it, or completely not dealing with it and just going, we're boundary set, we're done. Or multiple boundaries that you just keep, okay, so that's the boundary. Okay, you keep putting boundaries out. It's outward, not until you get to the point where you're cutting them off. Or you fucking suck it up and you deal with it. Which is the worst possible scenario to do. It is very painful. But these are also things in our society that we are starting to figure out as we bounce from one frame of thought to another. As we increase in understanding and acceptance of people and various cultures and various, ideas and breaking norms, social norms that have been around for hundreds of years. probably 1,000 or more years. That are just not, they just don't have the same meaning. Because a lot of stuff is a control mechanism. A lot of dysfunction is because people are trying to get control, maintain control, be in control. That's where all the manipulation comes from. That's why people don't feel safe. It's because people try and get their own way instead of discussing a way to a common end, or accepting that they may not get their way for reasons this time. And those are probably good reasons. Or however to handle the situation in as a responsive way as possible instead of a very negative reactionary way. I am still more reactionary than I would like. In a crisis, I function amazingly fucking well. Outside of that, I try not to be my worst self. And I try to improve. And there are plenty of situations that I could have done things differently. I could have done things better. I could have been a more active participant. I could have exited the situation earlier. Maybe. But Monday quarterbacking, Monday armchair quarterbacking situations ultimately doesn't do very much. You rewrite shit in your head and go, well, it should have gone this way. But ultimately what matters right now in this time period is that you get an understanding of where you are right now and where you want to be. And you figure out who's a really safe person and how to connect with other safe people. And if there's any things to address them. To move forward in a way that's best for you and yours, while also hooking into the greater community. Exploding into the forefront or onto the forefront for everybody is going to be a whole new way of doing things and thinking about things. But how we get there is still up to us. And what's crazy is that it's up to individuals making decisions, and then it affects the collective movement forward. That is kind of how we got here. That is how we get anywhere. And I don't know about you, but I feel amazing things are coming. I know amazing things are already here. But at the same time, there's all this other bigger world stuff that is just fucking crazy. And how to proceed forward is just the thing that we're all figuring out. I don't have all the answers because I myself am trying to find some of those answers. But I think I'm far enough ahead that I can help lead a way for people that are not exactly where I'm at. For people kind of following me. Just like I'm following other people. I think in sharing that knowledge and perspective and understanding and going, it's okay to have been the asshole. You're probably not a bad person at your core, but you done some shit. We all have done some shit. But ultimately, what is the issue? Ultimately, what is it that you want out of the situation? That you wanted out of that situation? That you wanted, what was your reason for even doing whatever you did in that scenario? sometimes we wonder, and it's good to question. If you are questioning whether or not you're the asshole, most of the time you're not. They've done some asshole things, but generally you're not. And other times, nope, you are an asshole and we are not going to validate the bullshit you pulled. And like I said, yeah, you're the asshole. Woo. Are you going to fucking learn from it? Or are you going to continue to be a jackass about it? My guess is some of you are not. You're going to continue to be the jackass. It's okay. It's a choice. And for the rest, you're going to get to a place where you're like, oh my God, yeah. And you're going to figure out how to make it better. There is always time. It may feel like we don't have time, but I guarantee there is always time. Even in the minutes that we're really fucking close, there is time to do good things, to feel good things, to have good ideas and good thoughts, to have the good thoughts that lead to the good ideas. It is okay. It is all going to be okay. And moving forward, breathing is good. Pauses are very important. And doing that self-check. Is what I'm about to say relevant to the conversation? Or am I just pulling bullshit from the past? Is what I'm about to say truthful? I mean, is it really truthful or is it just my truth? Oh my God. Sorry. My phone holder is broken. Is it really truthful or is it my truth that I'm trying to push forward as the truth? There's not more than one truth necessarily. There's more than one perception of a situation. And the perspective we have of each other really relies on, one, are you willing to be able to change your perspective? And two, can your perception of a person or a situation shift? And are you being judgmental unnecessarily? I mean, if you've never had this very same experience of that other person, life experience, if you've never been single mom, completely supporting your children and not having to live with somebody else for a large portion of time, can you make commentary on financial decisions? If you've never had to be the one to make those financial decisions like that. If not, maybe you want to change your narrative. Maybe you want to change your perception. Maybe you want to listen or have a greater understanding. If you want to progress further in the world, it cannot be through the same perception that you have had thus far. If you want things to improve, it can't come from the same place that you've been. Otherwise, you're propagating the same experiences, the same bullshit. And it comes down to your quality of thought about yourself, about other people, about situations, what your expectations really are, and your willingness to smell your own bullshit, agree that it stinks, and shift it. And it's not for other people necessarily. Other people will automatically benefit when you improve. I improve. Any one of us improves. It resounds in the world. But the whole purpose is for you and your benefit. That's why healing is selfish. That's why changing your main primary beliefs for the better and shifting your perspective affects the whole world. And not just your own world. That's why I bet it's a symbiotic relationship, because we're all in this together, having individual little experiences, but all together. Love is very important. Love is present here, always.